Hi there, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm starting a new project. I don't know how much I will do today, but I've been wanting to sew for a while and I just haven't got around to it, but I'm not feeling like pulling out the machine. So I'm gonna start like the only project I have that's not cut out because I don't want to really work on clothes. I want to work on like a quilt today, and I only have 2 sets with me and one's already started, so it would be like immediately go into sewing. But like I said, I don't want to bring out the machine, but I do want to get some work done on a sewing project, so I'm gonna do my other one, which is kind of fitting because it is July and it is a Christmas quilt, so I'm going off the saying of like Christmas in July, even though I'm pretty sure that's just a marketing scheme. So today I'm gonna just take it nice and slow. I have a big test tomorrow that I've been studying for, and so I just want to relax at home today and get some, I don't know, work done on this project, and tomorrow I'll deal with my test and then I don't have to worry about it and I can do maybe a lot more sewing and focus on other things besides studying Korean. I have a Korean test tomorrow. So I pulled out the quilt and my quilting mat. I'm just going to take it nice and slow and go through the directions. It's one of the quilts that my mom brought when she visited. So I'm gonna look through the directions and see, because the fabric's not a direct, it's not like a set kit. The fabric is different from the quilt pattern. So I'm gonna make sure I have everything in order before I start cutting. That's what I'm working on today. So I just took out the fabric. You can see it's very colorful and I have all the pieces here. There's, you know, snowmans and stuff. Lots of candy canes. But the pattern is Midnight Crossing, I guess by Joanna Figueroa. But yes, you can see it is not an original Christmas quilt. I think it's more like Halloween themed, but the store I bought this from made it in these fabrics and I really liked it, and this is a picture of it. They had this in there. So I have to like read through and see the differences. I read through what they did different. But yeah, this is going to be the quilt in the end, or this is what it looked like. So very Christmassy. It's like, I don't know, what, 1930s-ish looking with the fabric, or 1940s, I don't even know. But older looking fabric designs and stuff, but I think it's very cute. So I'm going to work on cutting this today, just to relax and do something on a project. I got out my board and ruler. I need to get out my rotary cutter, but yeah, I'm gonna read through this first to make sure I know what I'm doing and figure out what fabrics go to what portion. So I had forgotten, I bought this a couple years ago actually, so I had forgotten that it had a picture of the quilt. I was like, well, I'm just gonna have to guess, but now it's nice to see it again. So I'm gonna read through this and hopefully get started soon. It's been like a while since I've worked on a quilt project, especially since moving here to Korea. I've mostly worked on clothing projects. I don't think I've done a quilt project since I left America, which is over 2 years now, so kind of weird to think about. I worked on a lot of quilts right before I left. I actually have some of them with me now. My mom brought them, or I brought them back when I visited last. We're gonna start this project, see how far we get today. I don't know how long it'll take me to do this top. Plus I haven't figured out like what to do once I finish a top, because, you know, usually in America I would just give it to my mom and she would eventually quilt it. But she's not accessible that easily, so I might have to just like store up quilt tops. Also, like I said earlier, I only have 2 quilt kits, patterns, I don't know, to like work on. So I have fat quarter packs too that I have to buy other fabrics to make a quilt, but yeah, that's kind of the reason I haven't worked on anything besides clothing like projects. So I'm gonna start on this quilt top, and I'll have 2 quilt tops that are started here. The other one is a Halloween one I started actually in America and then brought here. Everything's cut. I just have to finish like putting it together. But I think once I like finish all the quilt tops that I have, maybe I'll just mail them to my mom and she can eventually get them done, and I'll either pick them up or she'll mail them or she'll bring them. You know, just the usual living abroad situations you figure out. But yeah, I'm obviously not in a rush to have these quilts done. And I could, you know, machine quilt them like buy batting and all that. But I don't really want to do that. It doesn't seem like something I really want to do, like a big quilt. Maybe like a small quilt or like a wall hanging one day, but don't have any plans on quilting on my machine anytime soon. So we're gonna just first start on tops and we're gonna see how it goes. So today we're starting the Christmas, I'm gonna call it the Christmas in July quilt. What is today? Today's July 12th. So I don't know when I'll finish this, but we're gonna start with cutting today. So let's go. Okay, so I went through and labeled what all the fabrics are, and I have everything here. I just have these 2 extra fabrics, and this is the same fabric as this one. And there's actually, I think, oh, there's one piece here. I can't remember if they said they cut it too small, and that's why they added more, or I think this one is for binding, because I have 2 stripes here for the inner parts of the square. But I think this one they put in there for binding. It doesn't really show the binding on the picture. And I can't see this anywhere in the quilt picture. Yeah. So I am thinking this is for binding. I don't think there's a backing included, which is fine. I can find a backing later. But yeah, I just have this piece. I think they said they just cut that one too short. This is the outer sashing, like this part. So that might be why I have an extra piece. But I think I'm ready to start cutting. Then I just follow the instructions from the pattern and what their little notes here. Here they use fat quarters, but in the quilt or in the fabric cuts, they just gave me 1/3 cuts, and so it gives me, they said it gives me a lot more room to not, or to mess up, or, you know, get it done, because I guess in these instructions, you have to be very precise because there's not a lot of wiggle room, you know. But yeah. Now I'm kind of ready. I'm going to actually iron all of them and then I'll put the labels back on, but we're just going to go in order down the list because today I'm just working on cutting, so I'm not going to like start sewing. Maybe that's another day, but after that you just start making the quilt. So we're going to get all the cutting done today. Well, I don't know about all of it, but we're going to start with cutting. We're going to take our time because I have 8 of these and I have to like cut a lot of little squares and stuff. So I'm gonna start by ironing. I have to get out my ironing board and stuff I don't have out yet. But yeah, we labeled them and got everything in the right pile to look like the picture. Let's start ironing. Okay, so I got all the ironing done of all the fabrics, so now I'm going to start cutting. While I was ironing, I had a really nice chat with my mom. I FaceTimed her, and she remembered buying this quilt. I think she bought it for me, and so yeah, I think she's excited I get to finally quilt. She said she's been doing a lot of projects. She actually finished a quilt that is for me, but she started it while I was there. But they didn't like give her enough fabric for all 9 squares, so I think she made it just smaller and finished it at like 6 squares. So maybe I'll get that sometime soon. Who knows? I got to see all my nieces and nephews when I was FaceTiming her. So yeah, it was a nice little call while I was ironing everything. I'm gonna start cutting the main blocks, which is a lot of cutting. It's in the pattern what is the 4 squares, so they have to like cut all these little squares. It's gonna take a while. My friend is coming over. She's gonna bring me coffee, thank goodness. But yeah, it's my friend who I'm going to take the test with tomorrow. So we're gonna study, I don't know, last minute study, I guess. Who knows if it's actually worth it, but I'm gonna cut, see how far I get with her here. And then yeah, I'll update you guys later, just how far I get. But yeah, if you wanna see all the fabrics, I'll show you real quick. So these are like all the main blocks fabrics. We have like the red on pink candy canes, the snowmen on little frosty men on red, some little peppermint candies on blue, the candy canes on green, the poinsettias on the pink polka dot, the poinsettias on the green polka dot, but green peppermints on red, and then switch the peppermints on green. So these are the main colors of all the squares. So yeah, And then these are the center blocks. It's just red and green stripes. These are the 9 blocks. It's red, and then it has the candy canes white on white. This is my inner border, which is blue frosty. My outer border, which is poinsettias on these stripes. And then outer sashing is the white with the candy canes. Inner sashing is just a red polka dot. And this, I have concluded that it is the binding, which is just a blue stripe. And then backing is just this ivory. So those are all the fabrics for this quilt. I'm gonna start cutting, see how far we get today. Obviously I'm not gonna work on it tomorrow because I have my test and it's like way outside the city, so I have to take like a 2-hour ride there and then 2 hours back. So I'm gonna be gone most of the day. So not working on tomorrow, but I plan on working on this since I don't have to really study after this test. I'm gonna have a lot more free time and like be less stressed about it, unless I feel like I just failed and I have to sign up for the next one. But I doubt that will happen, hopefully. Fingers crossed. So yeah, I will have a lot more time to focus on my hobbies that aren't studying. Yay. So I can probably quilt a lot. I doubt I will get this quilt done in July, but we can at least start it. Maybe get halfway. But we're not sewing today, so we're just gonna cut. I'll talk to you guys later. So I've only gotten 2 of the main 8 fabrics cut, but I don't know what I did on the first one, but I was skimping for like cutting. There's like some of the edging, or like the, what is this called? The sashing? No, I don't know. At the side, some of the blocks, they'll be covered by the seam allowance, but I don't know what I did. I mean, I got everything I needed, but the second one, so much easier. I have plenty extra. Like, that's even part of it. Like, I have extra squares, so I don't know. I guess the first one I was just really winging it and just cut off too much when I was, you know, squaring it up. But yeah, interesting. But yeah, the rest of them should go smoothly. So I have 2 done so far. These 2. This one, but there's some of the squares have the edging on the side. There you can see the white. And then this one was just fine. I don't know why it was different, but trial and error of sewing. But I do have all the squares I need. I counted them. They're fine. Thank goodness. But yeah, now I can go a little smoother doing the rest. Just thought it was funny and share. Okay, hello. It is actually Tuesday night. On Saturday, my friend came over. I continued cutting, so I'll show you how far I got. But I didn't finish. But then we stopped for lunch and then went to a cafe, did some last minute studying. And then Sunday, took the test. I think I did okay. It's kind of hard to tell with that kind of test. It's such like a broad range of like skill level. And I'm closer to the bottom, so there was a lot of things on there that was just hard and that I just didn't know. So doesn't mean I necessarily failed, but I definitely didn't get the top ones. See, Monday I just wanted to relax because I was tired from taking the test. It was like a whole thing on Sunday, like traveling to where I had to go, taking the test, and then traveling back. It was just a long day. So Monday I took it easy. And so today, Tuesday, I'm gonna finish cutting what I have left because there's not a lot. Yeah, and then I'll probably put the quilt away for a minute. I kind of do want to finish this quilt like within the month. I have a vacation coming up soon at the end of the month. Maybe I'll finish it then, or maybe I'll get it out sooner. Now that I don't have to study for this test, at least for a while, I have a lot more free. I'm gonna have a lot more free time, and just like it's not gonna be on my mind until I get the results, which the results come out in like August. So until I find out if I passed or failed, or got to like the point where I wanted, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm not gonna study, I'm not gonna do anything. We're just gonna see the results. So I'm just gonna use my time otherwise. So tonight I'm gonna finish cutting, and then yeah, I'll probably just put the quilt away for a bit, because the next step is then sewing, and I wanna be more in the mode for sewing. I like have more time. I also need to use my table for other things, so I had to like pick it up. It's been sewing for the last few days, and I don't want to like mess up my mat, you know. Okay, so yeah, I'll show you what I got done. So I did cross them off as I went, but I got all 8 of the main fabrics cut. I got the 9 patch sashing done. These are the inner stripes, inner parts. Let's see, I got, so like all the fat quarters done. I haven't done any of the background ivories. I did the cross centers besides the ivory. Did the 9 patch post. I started working on the inner sashing, which is this. These, I believe, are the ones done. Just the way I have to cut them, I have to cut like it in one section, unfold it, and then cut it again to make the right length. So I have to finish those. That's where I stopped on Saturday. What else do I have to do? I have to do the outer sashing and the 2 borders and the binding, and then all the ivory. Over here, I still have my ironing board out, even though I don't need my iron. I have the inner border, the outer border, outer sashing and binding, and then all the ivory background to cut. So this is what I have to finish tonight, plus the inner sashing. So that's what I'm going to do today. All my scraps are there. I mean, it's coming along fairly quickly, I guess. I don't think the rest of it will take too long. So I'm going to finish cutting, and then I'm probably going to put everything away. Trying to figure out, I'll probably like put like each of these in separate little bags to like keep them all together. I would say I was like halfway through the cutting. Maybe a little more. The borders, I don't think take that long to cut. Just like big strips. So just going to finish all the cutting tonight and then call it for this time being, like this session of working on this quilt.